All right, what's going on YouTube? Commando's back. Got another video for you guys. This time it's on Yatagarasu Attack on Cataclysm. So yeah, this game has been in development for over 6 years now. It started with a three-member crew from a former SNK slash King of Fighters team. And about a year ago, they actually started an Indiegogo campaign to try to fund, their progress with this game, and it was actually successfully backed by a lot of people. Which you got to shout out to everybody that backed the project. Now these guys can actually, fulfill their dream, finish off the game, and release it out to the masses. One thing I do want to point out is make sure you check the description of this video. There's going to be a lot of links down there. A couple things I'm not going to cover that Juicebox actually put up YouTube videos for on the previous build of this game. He covers the system mechanics and basically all the characters that were available at that time. So make sure you definitely check that out. I will be focusing more on one particular character. We'll take a look at the character select screen and just go through some of the options you get there. And then we're actually going to dive in and, play a little bit with Chada. And if you notice there on the left-hand side, you have the annotations for all of his special attacks and his supers as well. So definitely make sure to check out those links in the description. If this is your first time seeing this game, if you don't know what it's all about, check those check the links out. And also, in case you want to see this in tournament play, definitely tune in on Thursdays to the run back, where they actually have this game still going. They have the alpha build at the moment, which is what I'm going to be using to demonstrate a couple things for you guys. So yeah, tune in. There, season 3, which is officially the first season of Yatagarasu, was from August 21st till August 16, which is this Thursday. And then season 4, which is the second season, is from October 23rd through December 18th. So definitely make sure you tune into the stream if you guys want to check this game out in tournament during tournament play. So one thing I did want to note that not a lot of people may or may not have noticed is there's two characters in the new intro. One of them being Kazama Kotaro, and then the other character being Aja Salisbury. I'm very interested in seeing Aja because she reminds me of Charlotte from Samurai Shodown. So I really can't wait for those characters to come out, which there'll be links in the description where you can check out the Indiegogo page, and it'll show you the artwork and stuff like that. And then I'll link also the Japanese page where it'll show you some of her moves. They're just screenshots. They haven't really released these characters yet. And then just as a reminder, we are using the alpha build for what I'm about to show you. And today's character, like I said, it's going to be Chada. So let's go ahead and dive into the character select screen. All right, so here we have the character select screen. One of the new additions to the alpha build from the previous version is Azure. He's a new character to the roster. He is still incomplete, so he does have some sprites that are missing. Very projectile heavy character. There's a lot of opportunities for mix-up, so I kind of look forward to seeing how he comes along in the beta build. And we also have Ko. Now, people that watch the streams, when we do it at the runback, keep thinking it's like a Ken or Ryu type character, but both Ko and Crow have a mixture of Ken and Ryu in them. So they neither plays like a Ken, neither plays like a Ryu. They both have their own individual moves that have different properties, although they may look similar. Then we have Hanzo, which Hanzo kind of reminds me of Rufus. She has a dive kick, she has a spinning attack, but she also has a command grab, and one of her supers is a command grab as well. And we also have Juzumaru. Juzumaru plays more like if you play Street Fighter series, you know who Fei Long is. Plays along those lines. He has his Rekkas, has an uppercut. He also has a command grab that for some reason is very difficult to do. At least for me it is. There's no annotations anywhere on how to do that command grab yet, so I'm pretty sure that's something new to this build. Then you have Hina and Shimo. Both of these characters actually play relatively similar. Hina is the charge character version or variant, where you hold, back and then for a few frames or X amount of frames, and then hit forward plus an attack, and she doesn't move. Where Shimo actually do quarter circle moves plus an attack button to do her specials. So an interesting character that we have here is Jet. Jet is a mixture of Dudley, Balrog, and Yun from Street Fighter. So I look forward to doing a video on Jet. I have been playing him a little bit, but I can't wait to see how he winds up in future builds and then the final release of the game. And then Crow, we talked about him a little bit. Crow and Ko are both similar. They have Ken and Ryu type mechanics to them. So the character I'm going to focus on today is Chada. So we're going to pick his alternate color. Once you select your character, you actually have two options here. Each character has two different supers. He has a punch, or he just has two supers. I won't say kick and punch because some characters activate both of their supers with a kick attack. It's just different motions to do it. So his Giga Death Pressure, or I should say, when you select a super here, it either gives your super of choice a damage boost, or it changes the properties of the move. So this is something that might change later on. We might see different changes. You don't know. This is the alpha build. But the Giga Death Pressure, if you select this, it'll actually give you access to his level 5 super. If you select his Purdue Great Moment, it actually gives it a damage boost. So I'm going to select the Giga Death Pressure. And then after you select what super you want to boost up, you actually get your choice of commentators here. So one thing I did just hear about is that in the beta release of the game, they're adding James Chen, Ultra David, and Maximilian. So I look forward to seeing what their commentating skills are in this game. So I'm going to select Tokido for now. And then I'll just go ahead and we'll select Ko. And it doesn't matter what super it is. And we'll give him Kokujin. Let's go with Kokujin. I'm going to use the training stage. There we go.
Round 1, fight.
All right, so now that we're in training stage here, I'm just going to briefly cover his normals. So the game actually has 6 buttons. It's 4 attack buttons and 2 parry buttons. So each character has a light punch, heavy punch, light kick, and heavy kick. You also have a high and a low parry button. Now, if you look at the character portrait, in this case for Chada, the pod will actually light up when you hit a parry button, just to tell you or your opponent what parry you are attempting. So there's actual bars that come out of next to those pods to tell you how close or far apart you are from the right timing of the parry. Then just to the right of that, you have the blue bar there. That blue bar is your guard meter. So let's set the training dummy here to block. Set to auto guard. So when you're blocking, your meter goes down. And if you lose all your meter, you actually break your opponent's guard and they're vulnerable for X amount of frames. So we're going to try that again.
First attack.
There you go. So those are his normals. And in the air, his light punch. His heavy punch, which his heavy punch is really good. Has a very, very big hitbox. His light kick, jumping knee, he's trying to be Sagat. And his jumping heavy kick, which both of Chada's heavy attacks are really good in the air. They have to be. This is a grappler type character like Zangief / Hugo. So those buttons are going to be your best friends. Okay, so we'll briefly go over his special moves. His Scourge Impact. That's what it looks like there. He has a light, heavy, and EX version. Then he has his Today's Kick. Today's Kick is a drop kick that goes across the screen. So depending on what button you use, it'll go a different length. So that's the light version, heavy version, EX version. And then he also has his Mega Death Pressure, which is a pile driver, aka a la Zangief mode. He has a light, heavy, EX. His EX does not have armor, it just does more damage. And then he has his Running Punish, which, you know, if you've played Street Fighter the movie on Saturn, you know, there's a character on there that kind of does that. So that is his Running Punish. That's light, heavy, and EX. I do want to note that the EX version of it does have armor. It will absorb 2 hits. After the 2 hits, if he gets hit with a third attack, he will actually get hit out of it. Then he has, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, his Nudus Punish, or Nudus Punish. Let's set the dummy to jump here, which is a 360 motion in the air plus punch. Nudus Punish. So he has a light, he has a heavy, and he has an EX. The EX version has the biggest grab box. So let's stop the dummy there. Let's get back on this side. Now for his supers. He has his Giga Death Pressure, which is Zangief style, 2 360 rotations plus a punch. And I refer to that as a level 2 because he does 2 pile drivers. So since we selected his Giga Death Pressure on the character select screen to give boost to, he can actually do a level 5. So to do the level 5, there's a couple requirements. One, you have to give the Giga Death Pressure the super boost at character select screen. And then 2, you have to have 2 meters. You have to have 2 supers. So that was 3. So I did 3 rotations. I call that the level 3. So if you spin it 2 times, you will get the normal super, which I call a level 2. If you spin it 3 times, you should get 3 pile drivers, which I call level 3. If you do it 4 times, you should get 4, which I call level 4. And the level 5, as you see, I wasted 2 of my supers. And look at the damage. Oh my god, it's like 80% health. So yeah, that's the Giga Death Pressure. If you do not select that at character select screen, you can only do level 1. So if you want to attempt to do more than a level 1 super, or level 2 as I call it, because he does 2 pile drivers in the super, you will have to select Giga Death Pressure as your super to give bonus to. Okay, so now he also has his Purdue Great Moment. So if any of you guys played with Birdie from Alpha, if you do it with Light Kick, he hops forward and grabs you on the ground. So this super actually goes full screen, so you can catch opponents when they're going into like a special move or throwing out a normal that takes a while to recover. You can actually do the super, hop all the way forward and grab them. One thing to note about the super is that it does have armor. It's 2 hits. After the 2 hits, you get hit a 3rd time, you will get knocked out of the super. He also has his Purdue Great Moment with Heavy Kick, which is anti-air. So this super doesn't really, although he jumps quite far, you have to be relatively close to your opponent in order to get this super off. So if we're about this distance right here, it won't grab the opponent. So about the best distance to activate that super would be about here. Just keep in mind that the super is really vulnerable. So if they throw out a light attack, you will get hit. So let's see if we can hit that. And another thing to note is when somebody activates super, it will interrupt your inputs. See, there you go. Got hit with a light attack and Tokido came out. I was like, yo, bro, what's up? So yeah, it's very vulnerable. Although you can catch your opponent relatively low to the ground when you activate the super. So we'll try that now. That's pretty low, right? That's like the beginning frames of somebody jumping. It does not have armor. Just keep that in mind. So his two moves that actually have armor in this game, which are the most important to remember, are his running punish and his nudist punish. Just a side note that when you activate an EX move that has armor and you get hit, you will take extra damage. Another thing to note in this game is that if you super jump and you get punished, it is going to hurt. This game punishes you for using super jumps, and some characters have their super jumps arcs are very different. So you have to be careful, because I'll demonstrate that right now. Right now, for instance, our opponent is just doing a regular jump, and we catch him with the super. It does 15,000 of damage, right? So let me get on this side. Do that one more time. That's 15,000. That is a normal attack. Normal jump, I should say. So now we're going to try super jump. $22,500. That is a lot of damage. That's almost half life for super jumping if Chada grabs you in that super. That's why for the first couple tournaments when I did that and opponents were just blindly super jumping and I would catch them with that super, they're like, why did I just lose half life? It's like, hey, stop super jumping, man. You get punished. Okay, so that pretty much covers all of his basic moves. You're going to have to learn how to parry. Parry is a vital component of this character and just in this game in general. It's what's going to allow you to get into your opponent, especially when they spam a lot of moves. There, I was trying to parry low. It did not work because it is a high attack. It is a mid to high attack. So it's very important that you practice your parry skills and practice how to bait parries to create damage. So if a lot of people watch, when I'm using the Mega Death Pressure, I always use the light because it has the furthest range out of all of them. So if I stand about here, I do heavy, doesn't connect. I do EX, doesn't connect. If I do light, it connects. The EX just does extra damage. So if we do heavy, we have 13,000. If we do EX, 14,000. So it's not way too much damage, but it is extra damage nonetheless. But for the most part, I like doing light because it has the furthest range and it does good damage. So a couple other things to note about this game is you have a universal overhead just like their strike, and the way you activate this is by pressing both punch buttons, and that is his overhead right there. And then you also have a guard break move, which is done by 2 heavy attacks. So the character is set to auto block right now. So when your opponent is blocking, you'll crush their meter. But I've noticed that when you use the guard crush, they're not vulnerable for too long. So you have to make sure you get in your attack relatively quickly after you crush their guard. With Chada, your best bet is to use it at about this distance because you can light SPD. Let me try that again. You can light SPD right away and get the damage, because if you do it about here, never mind. If you do it about here, you can't SPD, you can't today's kick, does not combo, you can't Scourge Impact, it won't combo either. Another thing about his guard crush attack, again, is by pressing both heavy punch and heavy kick. If your opponent is in neutral position and you land it, it does not it doesn't crush his guard. So if you just hit him with it, it's like hitting him with a normal attack. You cannot special cancel this. You cannot super cancel it. Just, you know, sometimes maybe somebody sees it coming, they want to stand to neutral position and let themselves get hit by it. So you never know. Maybe I haven't experimented with every character in the game yet, but there might be a situation where, say as me, a Chada player, somebody tries to go for the guard crush and I let them hit me, I can SPD them right away because they're still recovering from the actual motion of the guard crush. So that's just another little side note there for you guys. Something I didn't quite get to when we're discussing Chada's special attacks is his EX today's kick. Does have guard meter. It does wear it down. So while you're playing, keep that in the back of you guys' heads that if you wear down your opponent, you can just throw out a surprise today's kick and then just like go into super or an SPD so you can pull that stuff off. Alright, so let's talk about Chada's combos. Chada, obviously being a grappler character, he's not very combo heavy, although he does have a few combos. He can combo, you know, 3 light punches, 2 light punches, and then light kick. With light punch, you can combo, you know, standing to ducking and ducking to standing. You can combo light punch, either ducking or standing to a ducking or standing light kick. But you cannot combo after light kick. So nothing combos after standing light kick or ducking light kick, unfortunately. But his bread and butter is always gonna start with your heavy punch. So heavy punch. Oops, that wasn't supposed to happen, but I buffered too much. So ducking fierce into light today's kick, ducking fierce into heavy today's kick, and then ducking fierce into EX. So that's gonna be your bestest friend right there. He also, because fierce is such a good, such a good box, he can cross up with it. It's the only button that he can cross up with that I found, and you can do it relatively low. So you have to practice that in order not to get parried. And if they try to parry, they'll just get counter parried, and I'll talk about that a little bit later on. So you can do combos like this. Whoops. Let's try that again. There you go. So that's like your main bread and butter 3-hit combo. But more realistically, his bread and butter is going to be his 2-hit combo, which is that. One thing to note is, let me set the dummy, is if your opponent is ducking, only drop kick, or the only today's kick that will combo is the EX. So if your opponent is ducking, oops. Let's try that again. That does not connect. That does not connect. That was light and then heavy. Now let's do EX. So EX is the only one that will connect if your opponent is ducking. Even if you're closer, he was standing right there. There's the heavy and then EX. Oops. He's jittery, man. He's throwing me off. So you get 2 hits. In the corner, I've hit a ducking opponent like at this distance with a heavy punch and then went into light kick, and it let me cross him up. So that's pretty interesting. Maybe it's just, you know, one of those days. But yeah, that's going to be your main bread and butter combo. You can combo his ducking fierce into his Scourge Impact. His light will combo after it. His heavy does not, and his EX will. So his light and light connects, heavy does not, EX will. So let's try that again. Ducking fierce into light, ducking fierce into heavy, ducking fierce into EX. Okay, so that's just one thing to keep in mind. So if you're going to use Scourge Impact, you're going to mainly use light and or EX. I do use heavy when I'm trying to anti-air because it'll lead to some damaging combos, which I'll show you in a bit. So as far as his heavy kick goes, a la CBS 1. If you hold down back hit heavy kick, he will not knock down. But if you hold down forward and heavy kick, he will knock down. So just keep in mind. All right, so let's talk about BL counters. So BL counters is basically a parry counter. What it is when your opponent tries to parry something and they mistime it and then they get hit by an attack, they'll actually turn purple. So you got that purple stuff. Big old purple sparkle. Shout outs to Houston. So that's the BL counter. So some characters in this game, in this current build, actually have some very devastating combos on the ground if they land the BL counter. And on the ground, it just extends their combos. As an anti-air, you're able to extend it. Depending on the characters, they have different ways to continue the BL counter. In the previous version, you were able to BL counter anti-air, like so, and then go into, Purdue Great Moment, his anti-air heavy kick. But since you can't do that anymore, found a couple other ways to get some pretty good damage off of this. So just keep in mind, when you're going to BL counter, you're going to be doing it with the heavies. And one other thing to note is, if they jump in, and say you hit them with heavy, and you try to hit them with any other button, they will pop out of that juggle state. The only button that will keep them, the only normal that will keep them in juggle state is standing fierce. So you can hit it 3 times, right? And do 12,718 damage there. Another way you can BL counter is you can do his Scourge Impact, will also BL counter. But the problem with trying to BL counter with his Scourge Impact is they fall back pretty far away. So it's very important that you learn your distances when you're throwing it out and trying to figure out what will combo after the initial attack. So just keep that in mind. Depending on how you hit them or how you're able to land this, you're going to have to adjust for different combos. So say if the opponent's jumping in, one of the combos that I've been using a lot is, we're going to do standing heavy punch into heavy Scourge Impact into EX today's kick. So, and that's 17,238 damage. So you can change this up depending on where your opponent is, how high he is. You can change up that combo pretty drastically. So let's try this. So that's 21,393. All right. So say if I wanted to do Scourge Impact, would be a lot difficult because you're not going to be able to combo very many of them. Do that, it pushes them back. So if you can't combo that, but you can probably do heavy. There you go. But after heavy, you really can't do anything because the recovery is so long. So let's try that one more time. So 1, 2, there you go. So it's all dependent on the spacing and distance, height, all that takes a part in how you're going to combo. So you can just today's kick. So you can only do 3 of them. You can't do no more than that with Chada. There are some other characters that you can change it up with. Just keep in mind that you have damage scaling, so the first 2 initial attacks are the ones that are going to create the most damage for you. The ending attack will not do as much damage. So say if we hit him with that, it's 19,143. So you're able to change it up. And it can be very, very damaging. So just practice those combos. When you're able to get the game, it's one of those things where you're gonna have to practice it. You're not gonna get it all the time in every single match because not everybody's gonna fall for that. But it's very nice to have those type of combos. So just to so you guys know you can't do that into Command Grab. It doesn't work. Let's get them out of here. Actually, we're going to keep him in the corner. I got something pretty interesting. Right now, we don't have BL counter on, so of course it's a hard knockdown, right? So say you have 4 bars and you just go, hey, this fool's jumping. Let me just do something, right? You can use all your meter, and that's like 22,480, I believe that number was. But you don't even need EX. In the corner, you don't need it. So just keep in mind that the height of the opponent in the air when you hit them with the initial Scourge Impact, you are going to have to adjust your combos because you can, get away with quite a few of those in the corner. And after Scourge Impact, you can actually create hard knockdown. So you can, there you go. And then just put them in a situation where they have to get up, and then you can SPD them or, just create a mix-up for yourself. So if they're in the corner, you can do an initial EX version of Scourge Impact, and it'll pop them up higher. There you go. You can actually get 6 hits if they're high enough. After the last Scourge Impact, you can create a hard knockdown. So that's just something neat for you guys to note, that if they are in the corner, you can't. If you land the heavy one, you can land some pretty nifty combos with just Scourge Impact alone in the corner. So it's not only limited to the corner. You can actually do some, mid-screen as well. Create hard knockdown that way. If you hit them with a heavy one, you can use ZX afterwards to lift them up a little bit higher. So it's a little bit more difficult to get that combo off, but I mean, just landing that alone, that's 18,648 damage, which is not a bad chunk of damage to be dealing if you can land it. There's also another nifty thing with the EX version of Scourge Impact is if you hit it at the right frame and they get up and try to parry it, you'll get a counter parry, or they'll just, if they don't try to parry and they try to attack you, they'll get hit by the very last frame of that move, and it will not cause juggle. You can actually combo afterwards. So let me see if I can get that here for you. Let's try it in the corner so he doesn't move as much. So as you can see there, he didn't get knocked down. So you can actually combo after that. So that's just some stuff to take into account when you're playing this character. You can also do it with a heavy version of Scourge Impact, but it's a little bit more difficult because it's only one hit. So you have to get the right frame right in there. And you can combo off of just, if they're standing and you hit it, you can combo after heavy punch Scourge Impact. So you can do I didn't combo, but there you go. So that's just a couple things, that you guys might be interested in. I know this video is running a little bit long. Oh, but stay tuned. At the end of the video, I have a special announcement as far as the IEBattleGrounds stream goes, so make sure you stay around. Okay, so that pretty much covers BL counters. So another thing I wanted to cover that I didn't talk about earlier is universal overhead. Now, pretty much the majority of the cast can combo after the universal overhit if you do it at the right distance. So Chada can actually combo his light punch, standing light punch, or ducking light punch, standing or ducking light kick, and then ducking heavy punch after his universal overhit. So, so that's another thing that you want to keep in mind is don't forget you have a universal overhead button. And in case I didn't mention it before, in order to do your normal throws, you press both the light punch and light kick at the same time. And if you want to throw them back behind you, you just hold back and hit, and press the throw buttons. And it'll do that. So with the universal overhead, if you land the ducking pierce, obviously you can combo after it. So just keep that in mind. Another thing that I wanted to mention, this kind of like something I've been doing in matches, but if you have a heavy parrying opponent, or a parry heavy opponent, I should say, where's the auto parry? Okay, so once you get parried, your animation lasts longer, so it takes you longer to recover. But the good thing about Chada, and then some of the other characters as well, is you can cancel your normal attack. But with Chada especially, it's very useful. Because say if you're in close, right, your opponent gets up and you hit light attack or heavy attack or light, or either ducking light punches or kicks, or ducking heavy punch or ducking kick, you can actually combo or cancel this into SPD. So if they parry it, they're gonna eat a SPD if you buffer it in while you're pressing the light punch. So the best way I found to actually do this is to use negative edge. Now, if you go look at Juicebox's videos, which there'll be links in the description, he'll talk about negative edge. It's basically when you hit a button and you hold it down, you can move around with that button pressed down and nothing will happen. But if you let go of the button when you're doing a, say, uppercut motion, and you release the button, it'll activate the move. So yeah, make sure you check out Juicebox's his YouTube channel, and he has all that information on there. So that is pretty much the best way I found out to do this. And you can do it from ducking light punch, ducking light kick. I don't recommend using heavies because they take a lot longer to recover from parry. So there you go. If you were going to go for this particular tactic, I would suggest using light punch or light kick. You can use either standing or ducking. Okay, so that's just one of the things that I've been using. Another thing as a Chada player, what you want to do is you're going to have to use some form of gimmicks when you're playing this character, because a lot of times when people are playing you, when you do things out of the ordinary that they don't expect, they get hit by them, and it just happens. So you can throw out you can whiff a today's kick and just go into SPD if they think, oh, it's gonna hit me, and then they just hold down back. If it's far enough, you can go for that. Same thing with EX. Say if you're full screen and your opponent's like, oh, he's coming to SPD, and you could do that. I wouldn't suggest doing EX because it does take a lot longer to recover. If you're going to go for this type of tactic, I would suggest using light kick, today's kick, because it recovers the fastest. So you can, go into light, today's kick, whiff it, and then go into super. If you don't have super, I would recommend just using the light version of Mega Death Pressure, because, like I said before, it has basically has the longest range. So. And another thing too, another tactic that I've been using every once in a while. Let's see if I can replicate it on here. It's kind of difficult. Because your Nudist Punish has armor, you can actually armor yourself while you're jumping in. Say if your opponent wants to anti-air. And obviously you're not going to grab them because they're on the ground, but you can use it to armor yourself and absorb the hit and then go into a SPD. So let me see if I can do this. Jeez. There you go. So that's one. It's one of those moves where you're gonna have to time it at the beginning of the start, at the startup of the move to absorb the hit. But as long as you practice it, it's another tactic to add to your arsenal as a Chada player. Another good tactic to implement as a Chada player, if you're applying pressure, is say if you get a knockdown, even if you don't get a knockdown and you're like sweep distance away and they block a Scourge impact, you can actually SPD like as soon as possible. I wouldn't say as soon as possible because you have to give them a few frames for them to get out of block stun and then go into SPD. Because if you do it right away, what will happen is you'll just wind up whiffing the SPD. That's like another gimmicky setup that you can use. You can also use EX. But like I said, you do have to wait a few frames. If your opponent parries it, what you can do is you can actually cancel the Scourge impact into super, and you can grab them that way. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're using this character. You have options, but you have to kind of be sneaky about it, because there's a lot of characters. There's actually 2 characters in this game that they're just bad matchups for Chada. Shimo being the worst matchup for Chada, and then Hina as well. So that's just something that take into account, is you have all these tools available with Chada that you can use. So don't be afraid to use them. You can also cancel the EX one. I haven't been able to cancel it faster. There you go. But in case you have an opponent that parries a lot, you can use these tricks to kind of condition them not to parry as much. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover in this video. If you guys want to check this game out a little bit more, want to find out about it, check the description. I'll have more links to other various websites, the Indiegogo, Juicebox's YouTube video, just a couple other places where you can get frame data and some sprites that actually show you the hitboxes. So again, I just want to reiterate, this is the alpha version of the game. The beta version is coming out soon. I think take this with a grain of salt. I believe the build that's going to come out on Steam will be the beta version first. So I'm not sure. This is just what I'm speculating again. I got one more thing for those of you guys that stuck around through the entire video. October 31st, IEBattleGrounds is throwing the Stream Monster Appreciation Night. So this is basically, we're going to try to get a show together for you guys. You guys can tune in. It's to just show the appreciation of the people that watch the various fighting game streams and have been supporting us. Not just IEBattleGrounds, but Team Spooky, Level Up, Panda X Gaming, Chaos, who else? Bum. Everybody is like, I got a good amount of prizes to give out to you guys. I have 2 prizes that are only subscribers, because those, they made sure they tell me, oh, those are for your subscribers. But the other prizes we got, we're going to give them out to, just show up, watch the stream. It's just a thank you for me, a few of the other streamers. We're going to give away some stuff, so definitely tune in. The stream should be starting around 8 p.m., but it might change depending on what kind of show we have for you. So make sure you check our Twitter out. So this is just a night from, for us to tell you guys that we appreciate you guys and all the support that you've given us. So make sure you tune in for that. Check out the website, just a little blog spot, nothing special, where I try to put as many updates as I can. IEBattleGrounds.com. Follow me on Twitter. As far as events and all that goes, I post every single thing on that Twitter at IEBattleGrounds. And then check us out on YouTube where this video is at. Like, follow, rate, subscribe, comment, all that good jazz. We also have a page on Facebook, facebook.com/IEBattleGrounds, where we post information on upcoming events and live streams. So make sure you give our page there a like. And of course, the Stream Monster celebration, the first annual one, will be streamed live on Twitch twitch.tv/IEBattleGrounds. So make sure you follow the channel in case you're doing something and you want to get notified when the channel goes live. Follow our channel, you'll get notified. All right, guys, that pretty much wraps up this video for me. I know it's a little bit lengthy, but thank you for sticking around. Again, this is my first video, so comment, let me know what I messed up, what sucks, what's okay, or all that stuff. Like the video or all that, whatever you guys want to do. Yeah, man. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks again.